Hey, Silverback Rips here again. This is video 4 of my first PSA submission series. So if you haven't seen the rest of them, go back and check out the first 3. So the first one was kind of a breakdown of everything I go through on selecting cards to how we were going to break it up between all, new Topps basketball, then to Panini basketball recent, all just a baseball, and it was going to be 5 separate submissions. So the first video was the breakdown of what we selected and how we are going to break it out. Then it was all the new Topps brand of basketball was the second one. Third one was our baseball submission. So this should have been where we were submitting all of our new modern football cards to get them back in time for the start of football season. And then shortly after that, there would have been a basketball of newer Panini basketball. And then the final one of the first submission breakup would have been all the 80s and 90s older cards. But as we all know, with the PSA shutting down of the bulk value level, just after jumping it up to where you have to have 50 cards, we had to make a change here and pivot. So I did get one more in through the submission process that weekend before it shut down. But we did change. So what this is going to be is we pulled out 80s and 90s basketball. Is this what 50 card submission is? If you've seen some of our other videos, especially all those Jordan chasing videos, so most of these are going to be all the new ripped product from those Jordan chase videos. And then there's a few that I have pulled out of my personal collection from, when I was a kid that I actually opened up back in the 90s. So there's a mix of those two, but a lot of these are brand new, straight out of the pack. And so we're going to go through it now before I drop them off at FedEx. So again, this is a 50 card at that value bulk. It was done before they shut down. Went and made that change instead of submitting the football, because at first I was hearing it might be next March before, these get back, and you're going to miss that whole football season. Now I know they came back and they said that December is when they thought they would be able to open back up again. And I hear rumors now they're even talking about September, which I find odd, seeing as it was a 10 million card backlog, they said, and in the 3-day weekend before they shut it down, they've now said that they got another 4 million to get up to 14 million backlog of cards, which, most of it, like, that's almost half of what they already said the backlog was. So I'm not too confident in that. So what I did was, that's why I shifted to these older cards from the 80s and 90s. Of course, Jordan cards are going up in value, but you don't have the swing as what you have with modern, baseballs. We discussed in that video, such a long season, highs and lows, player card values go up and down. You have new players we all have heard the stories of like how much Zion Williams rookie cards were when he first came out and what you can get it for now. So I personally, like I said, I did not own a slabbed card. I wanted a 10 just to be able to see what we were calling a 10 before I started submitting. That was part of all the research I did. And, I didn't even pay $10 for a Zion rookie 10 that at one point the card had sold for $3,000. So I figure with the time frame here on the older cards, it's not going to hurt us, even if it's next March. I don't see these are all established. They're not, barring some tragic, life change. these guys have already set their career and done, so the only thing we're seeing is prices continuing to go up on them. All right, so with that, let's get into the cards that we have set up to submit for this. So again, jumped it up, that value bulk from 20 to 50. So that was why not only the shift from getting off of having the football ready to go, it was, you know, I kind of already started put together 20. I thought I was sending out when we got to this, and then it was like, oh, we got to get it up to 50. So first card that in the submission here, and what these are, I'm going to be mailing these out right after that. So I've already wiped them down, like we said in our previous video. Brand new penny sleeve, brand new rigid sleeve that they want them in, and is ready to send out. So the first card is going to be the 1989 Flair Larry Bird. I'm going to do my best to keep the glare off of these. So this we actually pulled in one of our recent Jordan hunting videos where we had the random different packs. So we did get the Larry Bird with Flair. So the nice paper, you don't really have the bricking on any of those, so that's not an issue. Did notice on this one why we're going with this. Not only is it Larry Bird having a good market, the centering on the front, which is very difficult in anything from the 80s, but this one actually looked good by eye, and then I got out the little centering tool, and it falls within that you know, scope to 55-45 on the front. So the centering, the corners, there's no wear and tear on the sides. The back is good, helped. I know any of you that are familiar with this set, that all this red in the background, this is basically how it looked from day one. And if some of these, once you've pulled them out of the packs, it's really faded to a pink. So that is really good. So we're really expecting 10 on the 89 Larry Bird. So the next, that same video, we've got also from the 90 Flair All-Star of Magic Johnson. Any of you guys that are familiar with these All-Star sets, because of course the Michael's real popular, is the centering was atrocious on these. And the way you can really, right off the bat, is on the front, the bottom, these stars, is if you'll see it where there's 3 on one side and 1 on the other. Usually it's like 1.5 and 2.5. So for this the 2 stars on each side, the other place you look up by the rim, and then top to bottom, this is really good. Centering wise, this is one of the best 90s All-Star cards I've seen. And the same thing on the back. It's not quite as good, but it falls in the threshold. As you can see, the stars that are on the back, it's 1 and probably a little more than 1.5 to a little less than 1.5 hanging out. But again, don't have to worry about the corners on any of these. These all came out with sharp corners out of the packs, and for the centering to be really good. So not to mention the Magic Johnson, interesting enough, there's not a high pop rate on this card. Not a lot of these have been graded. Okay, so the next one we have then, in keeping with that, is the 88 Larry Bird Flair card. So this one was not recently pack pulled. This was something that I pulled out of what I had, but some of the 88 cards I had, you would think I just did though, because it had good corners. Centering is within reason, which is, again, on this set, it's notorious for being bad. And on the back, actually centering and everything is just a little bit better. And you don't really see the fading that is common with this one. And also on the 80H, you have to watch for the print lines that run across the card. And this doesn't have any. Actually, we got a couple coming through here of 88. And so, again, I actually looked up of what PSA calls a 10 on this 88 Larry Bird, the example. And I actually think that this copy looks better than what they're advertising their 10 up on the thing. Okay, so the next card is also from that 88 Flair set, also just that I pulled out, and this is the Charles Barkley. So another clean one, 4 good corners. Centering actually is better than on the Bird, even maybe by a little bit. So that little bit there is actually just on something on that semi-rigid, not on the actual card. So it looks good. The back is lined up good too. So this is another good one. Not a huge card, but Barkley was another one of the guys I liked after Jordan. So we always kept him. The next 88 pulled out from the set, Patrick Ewing. Knicks on the verge of getting a championship. So this one, the centering is not as good as the last two, but 4 sharp corners. Top to bottom is good on the centering. There's no fading. There's no surface issues with this one. This is another reason why I pulled this one out. Another unique thing is this is still back when everybody who doesn't know of the younger generation, it's actually the New York Knickerbockers, and they used to actually have that on some of the cards. But what I'm kind of interested in, kind of put this one out, when I put the centering tool on it, even though you can see right to left that it's off, like it doesn't look as good, but if you put it on that tool, it is sitting right on that threshold line. So I'm interested to see how harsh they are on it. We'll see what they say. And then on back, you can see actually the centering left to right is off again. It's even worse on the back, but top and bottom is good. But you have the higher threshold, and again, this is sitting right on that line where it says it's good. So I'm interested to kind of see, even though it looks even more just by the eye of what it is, when you put the tool on there, it sits right on what they're saying their threshold is. So we'll see if they hold that. All right, next card here that pulled out of what I had previously, 95 metal, the Shack. The Flair metal cards are one of the sets I really liked back in the 90s, after probably Finest, but you know, we didn't get a whole lot of them. But really clean, 4 sharp corners still, which is always, you know, your first thing you want to look at. No peeling off of these, which is when you get in the 90s, when you start on the gloss, you have to watch for. Centering is good. You have to watch on these. It gets a little harder with no, it's harder and easier. Like we said on that Ewing, it has that frame, so it sticks out and really looks worse than even when it says it's in the thing. Spec, but on here you're looking at these floating words and icons that you're trying to make sure kind of are done up, so it's harder to kind of catch if you feel they are, but these all seem to be lined up really good. And then you have to be more cautious on these cards with surface issues, which these are really clean and good. So we're really expecting a 10 again on the Shack nuts and bolts. Next card is from the Flair metal, but it's from 96. So this is the Dennis Rodman, and this is not the base. This is the metallized refractor, where it has like the liquid metal falling on there. Again, 4 sharp corners. There's no surface marks when we put this under the jeweler's loop. The back, again, no peeling. That's really what you need to watch in the 90s, is sometimes you find these cards with that gloss. The front looks good and you pull it around and you can just see the chipping that's terrible on the back, but this one looks good. Again, this is more investigation on how the centering is, but the centering is good on it. This is one of these cards, if you can see, so part of this is all this, like where it looks like someone dropped liquid metal on it, right? So part of it is, if you look up the card on the tin, there's a spot, a dot on his face. That is part of the card. It's part of this whole splash here. They all have it, and it's on a tin. So I'm interested. This is going to be one to see where I can't find anything wrong with this card. So if it doesn't, the only thing is will whoever's grading this know, like they should, that is supposed to be there. So we will see. Okay, another one just pulled out of what I had. One of my favorite sets. So this is the 93 Finest. So this is the Scottie Pippen, and this is the refractor. Good card. With this one, centering is actually pretty good for the set. There's some that it can get quite off. As you can see with this, there is not greening on this one, which is very common in the set. Surface is good. If you're familiar with this set at all, there is, your little lines that are in it that are part of the surface that's supposed to be there. And on the back, really clean, no peeling, centered up within, it's not perfect, but it's within their qualifications from what they say on the 60/40. And this is another one where if you look up the example tin on PSA, whenever you scan it, there is actually more greening on the example tin they give than on this one. So for whatever reason, this copy I got is held. It hasn't greened. So this one, we're looking forward to a good grade on it. Next one, also from 93 Finest. So this is the main attraction, and this is the Chris Webber rookie main attraction. So it is, it's not the base. There's a very low pop on this, and you can see there is some starting to go greening on this, but it's more yellow than green. He hasn't gone green. It's very unique background. If you actually lay down the thing the way it's supposed to lay, the centering is where it should be. This one, I'm really, other than the fact that there's not a lot of these and they don't give it, I would fully expect a 10 on this card. Very interested to see what comes back from that. Next that we're going in, we're staying with 93. This time we're going Stadium Club. Pulled out one of the beam teams I have. So this is the Reggie Miller beam team that I pulled back in 93. So very clean. Again, we start off with our corners. This is one of those ones where centering's tough, but from everything you can tell it looks good. There's no peeling, sharp corners. There's no surface issues, which can be an issue on these cards. If they're not taken care of, you can see down here that refractive pink, it will catch marks. very easily. So it's hard to find these that doesn't have it. So again, I kind of based off some of the cards I'm putting in of the other big players from the 90s, from the players or the cards everybody's chasing for Jordan. That's, you know, unattainable. So Reggie Miller, this is really clean copy of it, and the Beam Team. Staying with that same set, the next one is the Bobby Hurley. Bobby Hurley's career cut short with the automobile accident, but came in after an amazing career at Duke and everything. This card is just really clean copy of the Beam Team for the Bobby. Also thinking about just getting the whole set slabbed up, and but this one, I know it's not a big one. There isn't some big, you can't even find a pop rate on this card. So, but it should do very well, and that's why we're sending that one in. Okay, so now if you saw our video where we had the factory sealed box of 92 tops that came with the gold cards, and we broke that open, and we got really lucky because like the whole set in there was centered fantastically, and they all came out good. So now we are on a run of a bunch of cards here that we pulled out of that factory sealed box, if you saw that video. So the first is the 92 tops Shaquille O'Neal rookie card. Centering is like perfect. You had the corners are great, no surface issues. Especially what you want to watch is that gold 92 draft pick stamp. No marks inside of it or anything. The back here is, there used to be, you could get, you would see print lines coming through on the back, were more common than on the front, which none of these had. So very clean copy. Expect that to get a 10. So also from that box set, we actually got of the Beam Teams that they included from it. We got the Shaq Beam Team that also has Chris Mullin and Glenn Rice on it. Again, it's got that white border frame. It is centered very cleanly, falls inside that 55-45. The back, probably even a little better on the centering. No surface issues. Coloring is great. It's clean. So again, Shaquille O'Neal Beam Team. I fully expect everything that came out of that Topps series or full set box to all get 10s. Now, of course, if you did see that video, you also got like 12 of the Topps gold cards, and that was what was random. You found out which ones you got when you opened it. So next we've got the 92 Topps gold of Larry Bird. Again, the centering is great, corners are great. The big thing you got to watch is with that gold stamp, it would mark up in a heartbeat, and sometimes when they pressed it, you would even get like a hair there or something. It would make it look like there was a thumbnail print already in that little gold print. But that gold plate is just clean and clear. The name of Larry Bird and Celtics is easy to read. It's not started to fade away at all to where it's hard to read the name. So this is, again, got lucky, the gold Larry Bird. We're expecting a 10 on it. And then the other one that we got that we're going to sit in from that is the All-Star Gold of Scottie Pippen. So again, you can see centered, the corners are all great on all these. There's no issue with that. And the plating on the gold is just, it's pristine. So we should see a 10. Kind of putting in some of the Scotties in here because kind of looking around, getting back in the hobby, noticing I don't think Scotty gets the respect he should get, deserves in the hobby for some reason. I kind of think he's going to be one of the next ones that should start seeing his stuff go up. So we're continuing out of that factory box set, and now we're finally getting into some Jordans. So one of the other beam teams we got was also the Michael Jordan beam team. That includes Dennis Rodman, Kevin Johnson. So again, that centering was good on all these cards. No surface issues. Again, the 4 points. Not the biggest Jordan in the world, but Jordan beam team from 92. From Topps, it should get a 10. The next Jordan out of that set is the 50-point club Jordan. And again, points, centering, there's no surface issue at all. On the back, the centering is also very good. That was the biggest thing at all these sets from what I've gotten out of it, is if the centering is off one way or another, like the whole set basically was going to be like that. And this was a very good print run of that set, so we got very lucky. So the Jordan 50-point club. Next Jordan out of that is the highlights. It's actually slightly off top to bottom. More than everything else is perfect. The side left to right is good. There's no surface. It still falls within the 55-45, so we should be good here. It just doesn't have the quite the perfect centering that the rest of everything else did in the box. Continuing on through it, now you have the All-Star Jordan. So again, corners, centering, there's no service issue when we go through the loop. We wipe it down. Great photos on the front and back of Jordan here on the All-Star weekend. So we're really hoping to get 10s out of all. I don't know how any of these from that set wouldn't get a 10 that we opened up that factory box just not too long ago in the video. And here's that base Jordan. So again, all the sharp corners, no surface issues. Centering's really good. So another thing, I know it's what they want, and I know I've brought up before, but these semi-ridges, they are terrible. I don't know if there is any issue with these. It's all going to be on them of pulling it out, because I don't know why this. First off, we all in the hobby know none of us keep these cards in semi-rigids. It's the one thing that, like, it was the cheap thing that no one used. I feel like they bought them all up and own them, and that's why they want us all to use them, because they're selling them to us. I don't know what it is. They don't go in easy. They don't come out easy. We all know that. You can hold a top loader in your hand and pop it against your palm, and it starts coming out nice and smooth. I can't stand this is what they want them in. If I start getting grades on things I know should be a 10, and I see issues coming back that weren't there when I sent, that's why I'm recording everything. Yeah, I'm gonna stop sending it in like they asked to. All right, so another one of our Jordan Chase videos. It's actually our most recent video uploaded before this one. Go take a look at it. Got a whole box of 1990 hoops, series 1. Let's go check that out and see how many Jordans we ended up pulling. So we're going to go through a run here of about another 5 or so, 6 cards that we got from that that video when we opened up that box. So the first one is the classic Mark Jackson card with the Menendez brothers sitting courtside watching the game. Mark was a pretty good player, and I'm pretty sure he's loves that his best card and most valued card is just because of the Menendez brothers being on there. Centering on the back is slightly off more than on the front, but it's still within the threshold. The other thing you got to remember here is these were all meant to have a thicker at the bottom for that when you're looking at the centering. Left to right on this set on the front is what always the problem is that some of these are nasty, and this is like perfect, dead on. So it's kind of a novelty because it's the Mark Jackson, because the Menendez brothers, but it's a, you know, valued card, something, you know, historical. So we pulled this out of that video. We expect a 10 to come through with it. Now this guy, the only reason, no disrespect to him, but the only reason any of his cards or any value or any of us remember any of Sam Vincent is because of the notorious game where Jordan is sitting here in the shot where he's wearing that number 12. So I'm sure all of you by now know that the one game, this is before they start bringing extra jerseys for everybody, somebody snuck in, stole his Jordan jersey. He had to wear number 12 with no name on the back for a game against Orlando, down in Orlando. And on the Sam Vincent card, he is front and center right here. Michael is clearly where you can see the number 12. So Michael wore 23, of course 45 when he came back for a little bit. The only other number he ever wore in the NBA was one game where he wore the 12. And in that video, we pulled not one, but two copies of it that are both extremely clean and centered. So we sent in 2 of the Sam Vincent Michael Jordan 12 jersey cards. All right. Also from 90, next is not one, but 2 from actually more than one of our Jordan videos, is the All-Star card. That gold background with the Jordan shooting the jumper. Very clean points. Centering on the back is really flawless on it. This one, the centering left to right on the front is slightly worse than the other one. The other one is pretty well spot on. There's a little hair inside the thing there. But if you put the tool on there, it still falls within the thread, so it should still get a 10. This one, this copy of it, I mean, it's just flawless, the left to right centering there. So really expect both of them. I think that's kind of the funny thing is when you start getting that framing, you can see the slight difference between them, but really they both fall on the threshold. We expect to get a 10 on both of the Jordan All-Star from 90. Right, halfway through the submission, 25 cards. Continuing that 90 set is the base card, the 90 Jordan. This is not that one. If you've seen my other videos, this is the first Jordan I ever remember pulling out of pack when I was a kid, and I still have it, and it has got a giant, some nasty crease where it looks like the corner was folded down. But this is not that one. This was pulled from a pack in one of our Jordan hunting videos. So you got the clean corners, centering is dead on front. Great in the back. There's no surface issues at all on this one. This is another really good thing. Another thing to point out for anybody who's new who doesn't as familiar with this card, but you see that little like half crescent moon there. That is part, like every one of them has it. That's part of it. Look up go to the PSA website, click in, and when they pop up the version of the 10, you see it on there. It's like the lighting in the camera shot from those old lights that used to be in stadiums up top. All right, so next, continuing from those Jordan pack pulls, but then 2 are also going to be just from what I had that I pulled out of from pulling back in the day. So I have 4 copies of the 89 NBA Hoops Michael Jordan All-Star from Houston. Really like this one with the red NBA. I actually have more copies of this card than just these 4, but they all 4 sharp corners. I actually can't tell the difference between the 2 that came recently out of packs and the ones that I got back in the day pulled. They've held up good. Centering on these copies are all really good. On the back also, centering, something you have to watch. None of these are bad, but one thing you do need to watch with that card is on the back. The Chicago Bulls logo at the bottom and that NBA logo, they have a tendency to start fading. Like you see that one's super bright. It's not, you wouldn't tell on that one unless you hold it up against this one. So that's why I don't think any of these are going to have a problem, but I've seen some that it's really bad where that gets faded down. Another thing that you need to watch if you're looking to send in this set is that it's kind of notorious to get a print line that runs vertically here going. You'll see it, and you won't really be able to see it up here or there, but you can see it pressed hard through the stars there on the side of the loop. Fortunately, none of these have it, but yeah, for some reason, there were a lot of those that came out where something was catching when they were printing out those cards. Honestly, again, I can't find reasons on any of these four. So we got 4 copies of the 89 Hoops Jordan. Then also from those pack videos is the base from the 89 Jordan. Again, centering really good on this one. I've seen some where that line there above Jordan is pretty well gone off the card. Centering on the back is pretty good. You can tell on here there's a slight white box around the yellow. That yellow is all supposed to be there. For him, again, you got to watch the fading on the Bulls logo on the NBA. Doesn't happen on this one. So this is another good. We're expecting another good grade out of that one. Then from the 90 Flair All-Star, we talked about this earlier with the Magic Johnson. I looked at this one and like I haven't seen one cleaner than this. Of course, you got your corners, but on front, like the stars there with the centering on the hoop, top to bottom, I just, the centering is really good. Now on the back, the centering is not as well. You can see the stars down here where it's almost a full 2 over here, where it's like 1 and just the start of another one, but it still falls within that parameter. It's like right on the line. So I'm hoping not to get a 9 just because of that, because that's what I'm interested to see. It falls on that line. It shouldn't, on what they say on the 60/40 in the back. So this one, there's a lot of bad versions of this card out there, but this is very good. I'm expecting to see that come up well. All right, from another one of our Jordan hunting videos, just pulled this out pack. This is going to be the 90 Skybox from the inaugural year of Skybox. This is just that, everybody knows it with those rainbow striping in the background. So actually, it's not as hard to find a good copies of this with the centering, as long as they've been taken care of. And so if you can get one right out as far as like centering and the surface issue, there really wasn't much with that. So on the production, it's just if they got taken care of. So this one right out of the pack has the 4 sharp corners and everything. Should be another 10. Also from one of our previous Jordan Hunt videos, we're staying with, this is now going into the Upper Deck inaugural from 91. So this is probably the cleanest one that came out of any of those packs. So this is the Magic versus Jordan from that Bulls-Lakers final where Jordan's guarding Magic. Very clean. Again, centering's perfect, 4 sharp corners. What you got to watch with these, I've seen other people get dinged, and some don't think about it. When it comes to Upper Deck had those little hologram logos on the back of everything there. And if that's it was really common for those to catch little like marks in them, or even start, and they will ding you a whole grade if there's just an issue on the back on that little hologram that you don't see. So make sure you check those out. It should be good. Staying with that same, no, yeah, 91 Upper Deck, but this is the Michael Jordan checklist, that art card. Again, we pulled it out of a pack on one of those videos. It's a checklist, but it's a Jordan. Very neat looking card, and it's clean, it's centered, and again, we checked those freshly packed pulled of these is the good thing when we're looking at that hologram that they seem to be picky on from what I'm hearing. All right, so now we're moving on to the 92 Flare base Jordan. Kind of looks like a very similar Flare jumped in, and they tried to mimic that skybox when they started, because if you look at that inaugural year. So this was just pulled out of a pack under one of our Jordan hunting videos. It's just a clean copy. It's centered well, and it's just the base, but the background all has that where it looks like it's the surface of a basketball. There's no surface issues going on with this, so should be another good copy. Now, probably when it comes to base cards from the early 90s, one of everybody's ones that they always go back to, that 91 Skybox, because if everything going on in this card, it was 90s, right? Those colors and shapes just there, and then you just have the player floating around. But from what you want to look at here, centering is good. So if you look from the edge to the M and Michael, and from the edge over here to Skybox, it's good. If you kind of look at the distance between this top blue piece here to the edge of the hoop, it is good. And then if you kind of look, it's not so much the dots. If you look slightly higher up is the bottom of the Bulls logo. And if you take that compared to the top of that kind of background blue square, it all lines up good. And then the back is a little harder to tell because not everything's designed to be crooked and slanted. It's not those clean straight borders, but if you kind of look at those distances again, it all marks here. So good clean copy of another base Jordan, should do well. So then we have another base. So this one is going to be the 93-94 Upper Deck. So again, pack pulled recently, one of our videos. Left to right centering isn't perfect. It is slightly off on it, but it still falls in that whole 55-45, so we should be good there. And again, the little thing that they seem to be picking on with all the Upper Decks, with Jordan especially, is the little hologram. It's perfect. I've seen some, this one, it isn't so much about getting the scratches on it. This one's a circle, and I've actually seen on a lot of copies where that's starting to peel up for some reason. I don't know if people were trying to pick at them or what, but that's very common if you're looking around to try to find a copy of this at a show or something. But another clean copy of a Jordan base. All right, so another one, this came from a video here recently too. So this is a Topps, and this is the 93 Topps, and this is the reigning scoring leader. So this is one of the inserts that he got from being one of the years that he was the scoring champ from the previous season. So has that art background, but still has that white border. It's centered very well. Clean, four corners. You don't have the hologram to deal with in this one. This is another one that should easily get a 10. 93, another insert from 93 Topps, but this is the gold. So this is the Topps gold, the reigning playoff MVP. So just the shot from him after winning the second championship. And then, of course, they have just a regular version of this. If you don't know, it looks exactly the same. Even the Michael Jordan will be in gold in the regular one, but right there you see pressed in gold. It says Topps Gold, that little logo right there. That's going to be the only difference between this card and the regular one. So that's how you're looking for that. The back, you got that white border again. Again, fall centering is good, falling inside of all the parameters. So another clean copy of a, easy to find Jordan. So now another Jordan base. So now this is a Fuller's Flare Ultra. 93 base Jordan Flare Ultra had that, very, I don't know, it almost looked like a countertop type when they bought these out, that tan bottom, and then they put the gold on there. It made it, and with the shine and the thicker, it really made this seem like a high-end thing. And then the backs are what you're gonna watch. I love the backs of these. They're so, another action shot, photos, and then always the crowd. These start peeling on the back so bad. I've seen a couple of them where the front will look really good, and then you flip it around and it's like peeling all over the place. So again, no surface issues. Centering, this one is another base Jordan going up over Barkley there from the 3rd championship series. That should grade well. Okay, we're heavy into the Jordan right now. So now we have moved a little further on. So now we're going into the 96 Topps Jordan base. He's going up against Lonzo Mourning, who's now with the Heat. This is after Jordan retired to do the baseball thing for 2 years and came back. Again, old card that he had pulled. Corners are still good, no surface issues. Nameplate on the back, you still have that border, so it's always easier to kind of tell before you really get you can eyeball it and see if you're at least in the realm that you want. And this falls in it. I still use a centering tool after. I do suggest that wiping down all the cards, of course, but especially on this one, I've seen it where almost like fingerprint marks or something on the gold of Michael Jordan right there will make it look like it's messed up, but you can wipe it down and it'll be all right. Bowman's Best was the same thing. Actually, a card the other day, I pulled it out. It was a Penny Hardaway gold refractor. The whole card back's gold, if you guys remember those, and it looked like it was scratched up and everything, and it wasn't. It was just like dirt marks. When I wiped it down real good with the microfiber, all of a sudden it's clean as can be. All right, so now we're kind of in that. We're still staying later. So this is probably the most recent card in the whole submission. So this is a 98 Flare Ultra Jordan. Of course, if you get the platinum medallion of this one is when they first start bringing that in, but this is just the base. But still, this is just clean, good looking card. Michael going up against the Knicks. The game where in the first half he brought out the old Jordan 1s, and it was amazing. If you remember this game, for those of us back then, he pulled out the re-release of those first Jordans, and he wore them in the first half against the Knicks in '98, and all this new shoe technology and everything, and he was still just killing it like he always was. That was a big talking point in that game. But clean, no surface issues. You got to watch that, all that, chromium on the name there around it, and it's very clean, no scratches. You don't want that. Back's good, which is surprising because of all the red. You usually see a whole lot of peeling there on this one, and the logo on this one's another one that can fade, which isn't at all. It looks good, so should be another good one. So then we've got the Skybox 95 Skybox Premium. The Michael Jordan where it has the flame going up. So this is the one that has this is the air card version of this. So if you look at his career blocks on the bottom here, that total at the time, that little bit there doesn't even equal 300, and it's saying, you know, 6,000. Yeah, so it's his block total, it's off. So this is they printed up, there was ones and some was fixed, and this is known as the block error, and this one has the error on the blocks. It is not accurate. So it's a good looking card, that flame going up. This is one that you can see. The gold stamp on the Skybox Premium. You got to watch that to make, again, like all that kind of little stuff. Watch to make sure you don't see any cuts in it. You can also, this set, even though it's from 95, on the back, you can see some of the, almost like the dimpling, almost like what you see in the chrome cards these days, but this one's clean, doesn't have it. Okay, so then 96, him coming back. So this is the 96 Upper Deck. It's got this orangish bronze, I don't know, type, what they were trying to call it, border here. It almost looks like a foil. Of course, this year, where they had the black, it's the only year where they had the black uniforms with the red pinstripes. My favorite Bulls uniform they ever had. They kept it without the red pinstripes, just the black uniforms, but the black with the red pinstripes. So again, this is very clean. Again, like I've heard, to check, you gotta check that Upper Deck seal. We're back in the Upper Deck thing. But this is another one where the back, it's glossy too, so you can start seeing peeling on it. So this one doesn't have it. This foil you got to watch because it's dimpled like it's supposed to be, almost like a basketball. You got to watch and make sure that there isn't any issues with it. And this one seems to be very clean. All right, so another card that we pulled out of one of these Jordan Hunts videos here recently. It's not a Jordan, but I have copies of this that aren't as clean from back in the day. It's one of my favorite ones. So this is the 93 Skybox Premium. This is the Shaq, and this is the Future Shock card insert where he's standing there. It's got a black frame, actually. It's hard to tell, but then you have like the electrical storm on all the power lines there. Cool card. Those first Shaq pump shoes. There was actually a poster of this card made also, and I had that poster. And then on the back, you have this close-up of Shaq and everything. So just pulled it out of a Skybox pack when we were hunting Jordan. Very clean. We're going to go ahead and send that in. Staying with Shaq, that also came out with the Jordan Hunts videos. So this is the 92 Flare. So this is his slam dunk rookie Flare. Has the green and purple with him dunking it. Has that basketball looking border on the back. And then has that gold border like we've talked before that was kind of like the first Skybox. It's sharp corners. It's all lined up good. There's no surface. That should be another one that grade well. These next two were not pulled out of the Jordan Hunts. These are ones just I pulled out. So I have a bunch of copies of them. And these, I'll tell you what, I have other ones that I think are going to be a 10 too. But both of these, I mean, they are just clean. The 92 NBA hoops. This is the Olympic team. Back then, it was such a I have multiple sets of the USA Dream Team cards, the McDonald's Dream Team sets, the McDonald's cups that they came out of the Dream Team. But these two, centering's right on, still corners. There's no fading. One of the things on the back that these don't have, there was a print line would run horizontally that would actually catch that gold number inside the flag there. Neither of these have that. Has that classic, box border, just lined up perfectly. There's no surface issues. There is some, I think, that's common where you'll see a fisheye, that we call it, that's on Jordan's forehead. And neither of these have it, fortunately. So, two good clean copies of it. And then the last card for this submission, pulled out of a recent one of our Jordan Hunt videos in a pack. And excited about this one because I haven't seen a version this clean of this, I don't know, ever. So this is the 92 Top Archives. That throwback, and I mean, it is just, has that, the slam dunk from his, where he was jumping from the foul line, and those old first Jordans, the red and black ones that they banned, that old Chicago logo, young photo of him from his rookie year. It is just clean, straight out of that pack that we got lucky on that Jordan Hunt video. I've never seen a copy of this card this clean. I'm going to be shocked if this one isn't a 10. Again, I should pull the photo off of PSA. I actually held this right up to a screen of the PSA 10 version of it, and this one looks better, I think, in my opinion, than even that one up there. And not that that one didn't look good. So, yep. All right, so that's the 50 cards we're sending in here. So again, don't know what's going to go on here, so that's why we had to jump to it. I have checked recently the other submissions that have been in. One has actually finally moved in to where it's in grading. So hopefully sometime soon we're going to start seeing the emails come through if we're going to get an upcharge or not, and then hopefully we'll start getting it sent back to us here soon. I think the estimate return for it is in July. And then the baseball one is still just that it's been received. It hasn't even moved up into, processing authentication. But when we get those back, we'll have reveal videos, and we'll just have to see on when the value level comes back. Don't know yet if we're going to send any at those, standard level that they've jumped up to that higher price late. All right, till next time. Thank you.